Welcome to the Build a Purposeful, Profitable Business Doing What You Absolutely Love podcast, hosted weekly by me, Ange, your work from anywhere coach, professional copywriter, published author, and business owner of 20 years. In every episode, I will deliver useful insights to help you find your voice, position your value, demystify the marketing tech, and run your business on your terms. So come on in. Okay, welcome to this week's episode, and I'm really excited today to have my guest, Ken Stearns, on today. Ken, welcome.
Good morning, Angie. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. So we're understanding that the sun is yet to rise where you are, but by the time we finish this podcast, it'll be broad daylight. So we'll watch for the sun rising as you're talking.
We're early birding this show.
That's fantastic. So Ken, can you just introduce yourself to everyone and just explain what you're about?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a U.S. citizen. I was born in the U.S. in Chicago and ended up in Los Angeles after school. And I had this kind of freaky insurance vertical sales experience, Angie. And I answered the call, this advertisement to end up in Asia. Mm-hmm. Selling insurance, building insurance for companies. And maybe like yourself, not quite sure how you ended up in Asia, but I answered that call for a couple of years to come for a couple of year contract. And I found myself still there 20 years later.
That's my story. Yeah. Exactly the
same. 20 years later, I was like, I got to get back. I have something to do. So I was really trying to find what I was going to do for the rest of my life. You know, when I grew up, what am I going to do? When you grow up, what are you going to do? And I had a lot of different things all happening at the same time to try to get something to happen to show me where to go. Right. I didn't want to sign that last contract with corporate, right? I was kind of done with corporate and really tough. I had a tough business. It was a tough business, a great business, the insurance business, but mentally tough. And I wanted to find something to do for myself, do something for my third act. What am I going to do in my third act? And I was writing a book. I was playing guitar. I was trying to become a speaker. And somehow I kind of ended up with this crazy idea to do a podcast and to do a different format than a lot of podcasts. I was going to do it in person, but also I was going to do it in people's homes and travel to different cities. So I came up with an idea called the Jar podcast. And I created from the book I wrote, I created 444 questions.
Right.
And we cram them into this jar. And I'm driving around the country to 111 cities ultimately and interviewing 444 people. And hang on. Happens to be.
Oh, this is the jar. Wonderful.
And I do have the jar, so you can. That's what a guest sees for an hour and a half. Is this intimidating jar full of questions?
Okay, so for those listening, Ken's just shown this great big huge glass jar full of 444 questions, right?
and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm on about halfway through. I've done about 200 interviews since April, and I've been to 60 cities. I'm just having a blast meeting people and hearing their stories, remarkable stories.
That is wonderful. So that's a great excuse to travel. Yes. It's a wonderful way to do it. So this whole idea of working from anywhere, right, is what you're basically doing now. You've just got that freedom lifestyle where you're not based in one place. You're just traveling around.
I'm traveling around.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and also I think mind-boggling too. I'm changing hotels every 4 days. I don't have a home.
Right.
Everything I need, not everything I own or want, but everything I need is in a couple of suitcases and my van. I have this of course I've got a ginormous van. Right. I don't sleep in the van because that would just be madness. I couldn't. I'm not that good. I'm not that much of a maniac. Okay. But I use it for marketing and carry everything around.
Fantastic. So I'm interested in knowing, just for the first part of your story here, is obviously you worked in corporate, you worked in corporate in insurance
Mm,
for a long, long time,
yeah.
right? And now you've recently made this transition over to this completely different lifestyle. So just let us know, what was that like? How did you do it? How did you
Yeah.
feel? How do you know, for anyone listening that's thinking of leaving the 9 to 5 and starting something new, and wanting that freedom to work from anywhere, what would
Yeah.
you advise, and what happened to you?
Yeah. It's, I think mine was, it was a long journey.
Mm,
I was really focused on solving the puzzle of what I wanted to do for a longer period of time. So
mm,
what can I do till I'm 80? So
mm,
I think, because I want to find, I think I want to be an active person. I don't want to just sit at home. And I
mm,
had a job where I needed to be doing that work.
mm,
So how can I repurpose my life experience and everything to something I
mm.
can do for a longer period of time? You can do
Right.
when you're older and you don't need a corporate maybe. Um, so I was pretty intentional. There
Mm,
was a lot of thought going into what experience or skills I thought I had. And I think for anybody listening, you've got a passion. M-
mm,
and if you found if you're lucky enough to have found your passion, right? I think that's the best alignment, is to find some way,
mm,
what is that career the area of your passion, what really wakes you up and gets you excited? What is that? And
mm,
what work is involved in there, and can you monetize it? And then being very intentional about doing things, maybe not directly, because I wanted to be a public speaker, but I was, I wrote a book, but I wasn't sure where it would lead. Honestly,
right.
I knew that was one of the things I needed to do, just write a book.
And
And
what was the book about?
so the book was called Dear God, and it's letters to God about heavy life topics.
Right.
So it wasn't a religious book. It
Mhm,
was more my own spiritual kind of conflagration. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but it's all these things, all my spiritual experience coming together, and being 50 something,
right.
and being raised, Catholic, but being
Okay. Yeah, me
exposed
too.
to, the Muslim faith, living in
Mm,
Indonesia,
yeah, yeah,
Thailand, living, being exposed to Buddhism, living in India, being exposed to Hinduism. So I believed in everything and nothing
yeah,
spiritually. I didn't know
yeah.
I was so confused. So I wrote all these letters, and there's just 12 topics. So
Right.
it's kind of this inner part. The inner circle is yourself, and
Mhm,
that's your yesterdays, your todays, your tomorrows.
mhm.
I call it the battlefield of your mind.
Okay,
And
nice.
then and then the next circle out is between two people.
Okay.
And I call this the book of others.
Mhm,
And that's about acceptance, forgiveness, and compassion.
mhm,
Really good skills, interpersonal skills,
mm,
something I think, we could all benefit by carrying around.
mm.
And then the book of all, kind of one more circle out, was, let's see if I can remember it. It's karma,
Mm.
service, and love.
Okay,
So great
nice.
thing for humanity. This is kind of
Yes.
it's a humanity level. And then
Right.
the last one was the book of you. And that was kind of a, the creator or intelligent design. If you believe in that, then
Mm,
there's this fourth part, which is
mm,
faith, hope, and mindfulness, and how
mm.
we look at life. So it was a book about that. And I turned that book, the letters, into the questions.
Okay.
So
Right.
some unintentional. And so I think for listeners, if you're contemplating what you want to do, most of us have an idea what we'd like to do. And
Mm,
it's the idea, I think what would benefit is doing more than one thing in the same area. Like, so I call it,
mm,
kind of in their own lane, but they're
mm,
relatively in the same direction.
mhm. Yeah,
So if
yeah.
it's creative, you want to go in a
It all has
creative.
to gel together somehow, right? There's gotta
and
be a link.
some and
Yeah,
somehow the ones that are supposed to link up will link up for you.
yeah,
And the other
yeah.
ones will just kind of, they'll just fade away.
Right.
Um, and so I was very, very lucky that a few accidental, I'd say accidental, but intentional things came together.
Mm.
And,
Okay.
and I think that's the best advice is you have to, we talked about that earlier. You
Yeah.
have to be very intentional.
Right. Okay. So you need a plan to kind of know a little bit where you're going and what you want to achieve with it.
Yeah.
But I was just as you were speaking there, just a question that just came to mind was like you mentioned that the 444 questions came from the book.
Mm,
So the book you wrote yourself based on your own personal experiences, right?
yes.
While doing your whole life, right? And
Yeah.
then you start asking these questions in your podcast to other people.
Yes.
Um, what's that been like in terms of getting information back from them? And has it been enlightening? Has it
Mm,
been, have they had similar experiences? Has it been completely different? Has it opened your mind to other things?
yeah. A few things have happened. The one of the most surprising initially for me was I had, of course, I wrote the questions and I had a very specific place I was sitting writing the
Mm,
question mentally. Mentally,
mm,
I was writing it from a certain place. And the part that surprised me was people had their own interpretation of the question. Now, I
yes.
can understand they'd have their own answer, right? If we all had the same question and understood the question to be the same thing, we'd all have different answers. I
Different answers.
I
Yeah.
understood that. But what
Yeah.
happened was people had their own interpretation before we even got to the part where they would base on their experience. They already changed it, and I
Okay.
was I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, what, this is crazy. There's a million questions in here.
Yeah. Interesting. It's kind of like songs, right? When people listen to
I
songs, they
think it
put
is.
their own interpretation on them. It might not, might be completely different from what the songwriter
Oh
originally
yeah,
intended, right?
very
Very
much so.
interesting.
So that's been interesting.
Mm,
And one of the, I'd say, a bit of the magic of the show that I also didn't
mm,
appreciate the structure was the ability for people to tell their story
mm,
through the interaction with the jar.
mm.
So it's a very interesting outcome is as they pull these, because these are life questions
Right.
about acceptance,
Mm,
forgiveness, compassion, love. And of course, this brings out their life story comes out. And
right.
so even though we're not doing a traditional kind of a tell me your life story and it kind of some kind of sequential order, and
Mm,
it comes through in these kind of snippet stories,
right.
and very powerful, quite often very powerful parts of the life is picked out.
Nice. Nice.
And
So
quite
we'll
good.
give listeners a link to your podcast, I think, afterwards. So I'm very intrigued to listen to that as well
It's a
when
lot of
that comes
fun.
out. Yeah. Okay. So then just going back to, okay, again, if the listeners are wondering, should I take this leap? Right? Should I
Yes,
leave
do
a
it.
corporate job? Do it. I agree wholeheartedly for obvious reasons, but why? Why should they do it? What's the reason for you?
um, I think it is that the one we all repeat, over and
Mm,
over, which is the first one, which is you'll regret if you never did it. Right,
yeah.
you're going to regret it.
Yeah.
But I think put that aside because that's a negative kind of a incentive. It's a negative incentive.
Yeah.
Right, it's a negative incentive. If you don't,
Mm,
this you'll regret it, and I don't
mm,
think that's the right approach.
mhm.
Um, I think it's because I'm happy I did it because it's changed who I am. It's allowed
Mm,
me to become who I am, who I'm supposed to be.
nice. I love that.
It's allowed me to
Yes.
it's allowed me to really become who I am, and grow in that lane.
Okay.
Is
So
that
it's
because
no, you can
yeah.
take the mask off in a way and
Yeah, you can take
yeah.
the right, yeah, you can take the mask off. You can put on your own hat.
Yeah.
You don't have to wear the corporate hat. You don't have to drink the Kool-Aid because, you have
Right.
to drink the Kool-Aid to go to work because you got to get
Mm,
excited about the company and the mission and the vision and we're changing the world. And you have to drink that Kool-Aid. I totally appreciate. I drank that Kool-Aid. I mixed it. I pulled it out of the pack. I stirred it up with water. I passed it around the glasses. We all drank it. It was great. And you need to do that because
right.
you're in a job and it's hard and you got to get up, you got to get motivated to go to work and you are in a lot of cases doing
Mhm.
good things.
Mm,
You are in a lot of cases doing good things. You're
mm,
drinking the Kool-Aid, but it's a good Kool-Aid and it's a truthful
mm,
Kool-Aid. That's
mm,
okay. But at some point you have to do something for yourself
mm.
and you have to take care of yourself because otherwise that will eat away. eat away at you.
Yes.
And you can, and the opportunity to become who you are and to find yourself
Yeah.
through being on your own in this life. There's nothing like it. This is the best way to go, Angie. I'm
It's
I'm
fantastic.
I don't want to say I hate myself for waiting these number of years. I did it when the time was right for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And you only can, right? You can only do
Right.
what's right for you.
You can only do what's right. And look, I did it at 60. So I
Mm.
mean, if you're listening and you're 40, you don't have to leave tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right?
But you
When
can
you can
plan it. You can
you can
plan.
right, you
Yeah.
can plan and you can,
Yeah.
the great about today, you can start a podcast tonight for
Yeah.
free. For
The
free.
technology is there, right?
Right. So you can do anything you want to do in these days. It's a great time to be alive. You can test
Yeah.
all of it. You can test
Yeah.
all of it. I had this the talking about taking care of yourself and doing something, maybe that's also partly people don't do it because they're taking care of
Mm.
other people and not putting
Mhm.
themselves first.
Right.
I I was a young, starving insurance guy. I might not even have been insurance. I was just in my insurance job. And I was in
Mm.
LA, broke
Mm.
as hell, just bought a house. I had no money. I went to buy a barbecue in the heart of the city, the southern part of the city.
Right.
And there was this black gentleman that had set up a barbecue sales place at his house in his
Mhm.
backyard. And he was
Okay.
using oil drums, these old oil drums. And he'd take an oil drum and he'd saw it in half and he'd put a hinge on it and a grill and he's selling
Ah,
them.
okay.
And
Recycled.
recycled. It was early. He was early recycler. He was very green.
Yeah.
He was very green. And I went there and I was going to buy barbecues, $40.
Mm.
And then he had another one with wheels. And the wheels
Okay.
were, and I said, "Oh, how much are those?" It's $20. I said, "Oh man, I read the wheels. I probably need the wheels." He said, "Son, you got $20. You're gonna go home and you're gonna put $10 of gas in the tank, and you're gonna go home and your daughter's gonna ask you for $5. Your wife's gonna ask you for $5, and you ain't gonna have that $20 anymore, and you won't ever remember that 20. But if you buy those wheels, every time you look at those wheels, you are going to remember those are my wheels. You have got to be good to yourself."
Nice. He's a good salesman.
One of the best salespeople I've ever met. Be good. So I think the message was be good to yourself
Uh-huh.
because no one else is looking out for you. Everybody
Yeah.
else is, and so in that corporate life, there's only one person really batting for you. And I
Yeah.
think you look at HR, you look at your
Yeah.
boss, you look at compliance, you look at the other components to it. People that want to kill you in the company for no reason, no apparent reason, but other than that's what they like to do.
Politics. Yeah.
Right. So you've got politics, you've got you got your human resources, which is a land.
Yeah.
You never know when you're going to step on something funny over there.
Mm.
You got
Mhm.
your boss's boss. It's a complicated place to live,
You have
and
to ask permission if you want to do something, and yeah.
you have to ask permission.
Mhm.
Even if you have a brilliant idea, you could give
Yeah.
it to your boss who's an idiot and it's going to go nowhere. Or you could give it to
Yeah.
your boss and they're an idiot and they're going to ruin it.
Yeah.
So that creativity, I think the one thing too, Angie, that I found was I was in one job that was so suffocating, such an intense job that all my creativity, everything that I could do for myself, for Ken Stearns,
Mm.
was drained every day. There was nothing left at the end of the day.
Right.
I
Yeah.
couldn't I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't come home and
Right.
write or do anything creative. Everything was, my creativity was for strategy decks.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And
I know what
and
that's like.
so you know what it's like being in these companies. It's tough. At the end of the day, your brain's done
Mm.
and there's
Mm.
no room left for Angie.
Mm.
And so, back to the barbecue guy, you got to be good to yourself and find find those opportunities where you don't kill yourself, at least,
Yeah.
if you can. And that's one of the ways to slowly get out. That made a difference for me. Changing jobs into a job that was pretty much a kind of a dumb job
Mm.
allowed my creativity kind of sparked up again because
Okay.
it was there. It bubbled up because I wasn't doing corporate stuff. So it
And then you
started,
found you.
and then I
You
found
found
it was
you.
beginning of finding me. It was
Yeah.
beginning of finding me.
That is really good. And I think as well, when you're in a a job working for a company, working for others as well, no one's indispensable, right? Even though you think you might be, actually you're not, right? Nobody's indispensable. You'd be gone. Nobody
Oh,
would nobody think about you a week later, right? Because
it's
life goes on, right? The company goes on,
It
and
absolutely, the machinery
mm,
just keeps moving. This is
mm,
one thing too. If you're sitting there
mm,
and you're thinking you're in a, the company needs you, I can't leave my team. Yeah, I'm the only one that knows how to do this job.
yeah,
Uh, Bollocks.
mm,
It's all
mm,
bollocks. It's all in your
yeah,
head. And
yeah,
it's a coping mechanism in a way though, because you have to have some conversation with yourself to wake up every day, Angie, to go to work,
mm,
right? So there is a bit of the cope. I think it's okay to have that as a coping mechanism for a while. And
but
no,
not,
but as
yeah,
long as you know it's as long as you know it's the coping mechanism, right?
right,
You have to
right,
you have to look at yourself sometimes in the mirror and say, if I'm dead tomorrow, no one's going to care in a week
yeah.
at the
So
company,
you
right?
might as well do what you want to do. I think
So
that's
do
the
what you
thing.
want to do, right?
And
Yeah,
then, as
exactly.
you said, like today, the technology is there to be able to start your own business, work from anywhere, do your own thing. You've got complete freedom to do that. There's no excuse not to do it, actually, except for yourself. So you just got to
Ex-
take that leap, I
You
must
just
say.
take the leap.
Mm,
And I'm a big fan of momentum.
mm-hmm,
And I think, I said I had these little different kind of channels with a little bit of, just blowing enough, air behind them to keep them moving. So, you just start. Right,
yeah.
just start. Like we were Angie and I talked about 2 days ago, and we talked about the platform that we're streaming this on, recording it on. We talked about an AI channel. We're a couple of old birds, and next thing you know, I'm doing AI video editing. I've learned how to AI video edit. I'm going to learn how to use a streamcast. I'm going to start another podcast, just because
Fantastic.
it's so easy.
And that's the thing, is this is the beauty of this whole lifestyle as well. It's like being able to talk with people across the world. Like you're
I,
in Atlanta, Georgia right now, right? And I'm in Singapore.
yeah,
And it's as if we're like next door to each other, basically, and we can
absolutely.
talk to each other. And that is just fantastic. And just being able to learn from people from different walks of life and different areas, and just learning people that have been on different paths. And it's just so inspirational to be able to do that, right? And you must be having an absolute ball just doing that, and doing it face to face with people. I think that's a brilliant idea as well for your podcast.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
and I've heard so many great stories of people starting out anew and
Mm,
starting out fresh.
mm,
So there's so many good stories of what I think your show is about.
mm,
Giving people that courage, that push
mm,
that you can
mm,
do it, and there's a
mm,
way.
mm.
Um, and so many inspirational stories out there.
Yeah.
People have some crazy ass ideas too. Some crazy ass
I
ideas.
mean, like when I first started, like 20 years ago, when I left my job and I started my copywriting business, right? I had no idea what I was doing.
I love that.
I just, I just know I
Properly, no
wanted to. Huh?
properly no idea.
Absolutely no experience whatsoever running a business, no business know-how, no knowledge, no model to run off. Nobody in my family had ever run a business, but the thing about Singapore actually is, it's, you've probably seen for yourself as well, it's very entrepreneurial,
Yeah, it's a great place to do this.
very easy here to set up a business.
Yeah.
And I knew quite a few people here who had their own business, so I just thought, well, if they can do it, I can do it, right? So
Yeah,
I went ahead and did it, and just made every mistake in the book, and and then you learn from those mistakes, right? And then
absolutely.
it just strengthens you. And for me, it was just a case of, if I don't do this, and if I don't make a success of this, I I'm not going to have the freedom for myself to live the life I want
Yes.
further on down the road. So it's like maybe some short term sacrifices, but for some long term gains, right? So
You definitely have to have again that long
mm,
term, the long term view,
mm,
to be intentional,
mm,
um, to have more than one thing going in the same direction.
mm, mm,
They might be disparate. They may look a little bit weird, but as long as they're important to you and you like them,
mm,
you know, like I was doing guitar. I sucked at
Mm.
guitar. I mean, there was no reason it was going to do anything for me, but I just kept going, and
Okay.
it turned out to have an impact in where I'm at today.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
so
You
do a
got
lot
it.
of fun stuff that you want to do, and do it for
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, yeah. I play a little saxophone, so and
What?
again, I just picked that up just because I just love the sound. Just
That's a
love the
great.
sound of the sax. But the problem is in Singapore, like you're in these little
I was gonna
flats.
say, yeah.
That's so loud, right? So I've got, if I could, I can't show you because it's on the other side of the room, but my sax is in one of these big plastic boxes, and you put your hands through these holes and you play, and the box muffles the sound. So it doesn't deaden the sound. It still sounds like a sax, but it takes the decibels down. So you're not going to annoy the neighbors. It
Oh,
will take
that's
it to a
great.
respectable level.
Because the sax is that's a beautiful sound.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love it.
I
Love
played
it.
trumpet as a kid, so I totally understand
Okay.
the whole neighbor effect.
Yeah. With the trumpet.
Trumpet was obnoxious. I was like, at least the saxophone's beautiful. I mean, the trumpet's just plain. It can be beautiful, but it's loud. Right?
It's
It's
just like kids learning to play the violin as well.
oh, my
It can
parents,
be a
showing
beautiful
up
instrument, but not in the wrong hands.
in the wrong. That's perfectly said. In the wrong hands. It's absolutely in the wrong hands.
Yeah, so that kind of thing is like, as you say, just do what you want to do, follow your passion, do the things that bring you joy.
Yeah.
I think as well. And then you mentioned earlier, I think this is so important as well, because a lot of people say follow your passion. But if you want to run a business, you can't just follow your passion, right? It has to be profitable as well. So you have to
Yeah.
find something you're good at, you're passionate about, and will make you money. So it's those three together at some
Yeah.
point.
And you may need to do some things you don't probably want to do,
Mm.
to kind of eat
Mm.
along the way, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So what am I? I had a good friend of mine left corporate much longer, a long time ago, and
Right.
somebody I call once in a while to
Mm.
have a chat with, just to kind of a pick me up chat, and also, he's a real hard ass. He'll be asking me, "What about this? What are you doing with this?" And
Okay.
he's a great sounding board. But I call him up to get beat up a little bit, and he's like, "What are you doing? Are you the wolf?" He keeps asking me, "What are you doing, wolf?" And his wolf thing is you have to eat every day. A wolf
Right.
has to eat every day. What are you
Right.
doing? What are you eating? He goes, I don't care if it's a bird or a cockroach or you're licking an ant hill. What are you doing? And he's great. He's so like, he's quite American, right? He's strip it down and he's just like, are you eating? What are you eating? How are you finding it? What are you hunting? And he's very passionate about, I don't care what you're doing, even if it's a side hustle, you need to eat.
Mm.
And you can't just burn your money. In my
Yeah.
situation, I'm investing a lot of money into the business.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Me
and
too.
so
Yeah.
for him, it's what are
Mm.
you doing to eat? And
Mm.
so this was a good conversation I had several weeks ago, a couple months ago, and it did really get me to think about side hustles. What can I do to extend my bank account?
Right.
How do I keep this going? What else should I be doing? It's a great conversation.
That's
Great
another thing
conversation.
as well, is having multiple streams of income, as they say, right? So you're not just relying on one thing,
Yeah,
but find different ways to make money, so that yeah, if something goes down, like COVID, for example, is a fantastic example, right? When COVID happened, a lot of people were stuck because they only had the one stream of income.
you're dead.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And just by the government can make a mandate, can't travel, done,
Yeah. Yeah.
out of business.
Yeah. That's right.
um
That's,
yeah, I think the single stream is tough, and it's also why I talked about I'm going to do more than one podcast, because I think
mm.
one is they're easy to do, they're easy
Mm.
to set up. I don't want to say, I should say they're easy to start and they're easy to
Mm.
do.
Mm.
To do it properly,
Mhm.
it's a little bit, it's some work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, behind the scenes, Angie has to meet all of her guests, screen all the maniacs that want to get on her show,
I let you through.
interview some possibly less insane people, and then somehow a few of the lunatics like myself get through. And that there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
A lot of time and effort and just mental thinking about how the show is put together. But you can
Mm,
certainly
mm.
start tomorrow and start making mistakes.
Yeah.
You
Mm.
know,
And that's okay. I think mistakes are okay.
actually, it's how
Yeah.
it's how you know you're on the road, right? You're like
Yeah.
you gotta start.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that about what you said about just your momentum
Momentum
point
is
of
massive.
just getting started. Because once you do start, things just start to snowball, and even if you don't, it might not go to plan, but you'll end up somewhere, right? And that's the beauty of it, is just
It's
go where it takes you.
I kind of like. Has everybody's seen? I'm sure these videos of icy streets. Have
Uh-huh.
you ever seen in a car going like on a hill and a car is
Yeah.
going down the hill? That's
Uh-huh.
momentum. In
Right.
my book, I have a book I'm writing, and one of the titles is about momentum.
Right.
And if I was to have a visual, it would literally be that, you
Okay.
know, people running after the car, and and it's just kind of going,
Yeah.
and and it's sliding down the hill and it's bouncing off cars, and people are running after it, going, ah, trying to get in it, and then you watch someone try to hold the car to stop it, and guess what? You can't. It's already has momentum,
Yeah. Yeah. Which
and
is
it's
brilliant, right?
and it's not pretty, and it's smashing into shit on the way down the hill. It's not pretty, but you can't stop it.
Well, that's the thing about starting a business is, yeah, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. And it's not a straight line. People usually think of success as being a straight line up. It's not. It's a
Oh,
roller coaster.
well, it looks like that visual, right? Of literally the car
Yeah.
sliding down, smashing
Yeah.
into a car, and there's
Yeah.
Angie running alongside, going, no, 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 keeps going.
Oh dear. And then just to change tracks a little bit, when you mentioned earlier, and this is one of the title of this episode of the podcast as well, is the
Yeah.
third act, talking
Yes.
about the third act, which I love. Um, just talk to me a little bit about that, because some people might be feeling, they may be close to retirement, for example, and they've done their
Yeah.
work, and they're in, and then nowadays as well, of course, people live longer because
Yes.
medical treatments have got better, etc. So you may have retired, but you may still have a third or even a half of your life left, right? And it's, what do you do? So talk to me about the third act and what it means for you, and why I
Yeah.
suppose you're doing what you're doing now.
And that really was me. I really
Mm,
was looking at it, going, I'm going to retire at 60 or even 65,
mm,
right? Even if I retired at 65, what am I going to do?
mm.
I don't want to be that person sending, travel photos. I'm on a cruise, and now I'm going to Palm Springs, and and I'm with friends that aren't really my friends, because obviously I didn't hang out with, I mean, I'm sure there'd be some of them we could be close friends, but not everybody can be at the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
People have their lives still.
Mm,
Um, and even if you're married, what do maybe if you're married and you're thinking, what do you do together in this
mm-hmm,
third act? How can you
mm,
come together as a couple,
mm.
in your third act together? Because now you spend all this time going to the office, this way, and you get in the cars, you both go
Yeah.
this way.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
about if you both get in the car and you plan on you're gonna go that way?
Yeah.
Um,
That's an interesting topic, actually.
you could do a whole topic of
Yeah.
third, third couples doing third acts together,
Yeah.
and what
Yeah.
that looks like, and the planning
I
around that.
used to teach, this isn't my teaching days when I was teaching English. I used to teach this Japanese businessman in Singapore, and he was close to retirement. But he was based in Singapore, but his wife was in Japan,
Okay.
and always had been. He'd spent most of his career in different countries, predominantly Singapore. A lot of it was in Singapore. So they had completely separate lives. And he was saying to me, I'm due to retire. I'm due to go back to Japan. And I'm really scared, actually. I'm scared because I know my wife doesn't want me around because he would just be in her way. She's built her whole life without him. Right? They've had like
Absolutely.
30, 40 years of marriage, and he hasn't been around, and she's had her own life, and she's perfectly fine, and she's getting his paycheck. Right? And she's built her own life. So he was, I need to find something that when I go back, I can contribute to that relationship. So he says, I'm going to learn to cook.
Beautiful.
I'm going to be the
What
cook in
a
the family.
clever guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They could open a restaurant together.
yeah. That would be good.
If she's into food, and so I think, for me, that pondering that question of what does retirement look like, and what do I want it, what do I want it to look like? And I guess maybe that's the difference for me was I didn't want it to be, just traveling and kind of just biding my time and waiting for the grandkids to have a
Yeah,
moment when it was the right time to visit. I
right.
wanted to make sure I had my own life and control of my own life, and also to contribute. I think I do want to give back something. And I don't want to, I've got a lot of business experience, life experience. I'd love to capitalize on that in a way for my own self. And also just for other people. Is there something I can share along the way, and I can make an impact somewhere?
It's like what they say, youth is wasted on the young, right? In a way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
When you're old, you have so much knowledge and so much to give, but then nobody wants to hear it. Right?
Yeah, nobody wants to. Yeah, and like hard to get out of bed just to tell someone.
But also the thing is, I think as well, the idea of retirement is changing.
Yeah,
because for two reasons. One, I would say, is that the way society is structured now, there are not enough people working to fund retirement in the traditional sense.
Absolutely.
So you can't really retire on the government, retirement pension plans and things like that. And then the other is that I suppose you can have your own autonomy, and like now with technology the way it is, you run your own life, you make your own money, you do your own thing. So it's given people in retirement a way to just be able to do something completely different and make money while they're doing it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
with the knowledge they have. Right.
You don't even have to learn anything new. You just apply, just leverage what you've got. You've got huge, you've got huge knowledge and experience when you're 55.
Yeah.
When you're 50, depending upon what your career has been.
Yeah.
I think there is a risk too of money's not a real thing when you retire. Financial security, if you're 60 or 65, you live to be 90. That's a lot of money. And, we don't know what inflation is going to be like. Those are, there could be 10 years of hyperinflation. It could wipe out your savings, even if you think you've got enough.
Yeah. And even if you have things like the Lehman Brothers things happening again, and you have your life savings wiped out by some kind of fraud or whatever, that's
all your planning you've done.
Yeah.
May not matter.
Yeah. So that's one thing as well, is that you can't guarantee anything. You can't see into the future. You can't take things for granted as well. Right.
And I think for, a lot of these things aside, it comes back to waking up, when you're waking up in the morning, if you're not going to corporate and you don't have that Kool-Aid to drink, you don't have that important job where people need you. What are you going to do? And what's life going to be like? Try to imagine that, and imagine it with a real lens on, not the, I won't have to go to work, I can just do whatever I want. Well, what does that look like?
Yeah.
And I think
it's kind of like, sorry, go ahead.
I would say just ask those hard questions to yourself.
Yeah. And then you might be surprised what comes up as well.
I think you will. And, have that conversation with your spouse.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
I had it a few months ago with a client, and she came in. I have a VIP day where like she can come in and she spends the whole day with me and we thrash out whatever needs to be done in her business. So she's an accountant. She runs an accounting firm. So I thought she was coming in and we were going to be talking about that. We were going to systemize. That was the plan, was we were going to systemize her business so it would
Okay.
free up her
Okay.
time. And then, so I just started the day with just saying, what is it you really want?
Oh boy.
And then she said, I want to teach women how to go through menopause. And I was like, okay, well, that was completely out of left field. But that was what she wanted. That's what she wants to spend the rest of her life doing. She doesn't want to do accountancy. Right? She wants to spend the rest of her life
Wow.
taking women through this journey and of like accepting who they are and, you know, through menopause and the change and all that kind of stuff. So doing coaching and training through that.
Did that just blow you away? What, I mean, did
Yeah,
that just,
absolutely. Absolutely.
and you asked, I mean, that's
And it's just
power.
on that one question. What
I
is
mean,
it
that's
you
a
really want to
powerful
do?
question, right?
Yeah.
Had
And
she
then at
ever,
the end of the session, because then what we did then is that for the morning, we then thought, okay, right, let's 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 do the system thing. So we're going to free you up in your business so
yeah, could
that
you
you've got
still
time
do, yeah.
to work on this now, right? So we did all the system thing for her. And then in the afternoon, we then planned out the branding for this idea, this new thing, what her system was going to be within that business. And we came up with the FAB system, FAB, and I can't remember what they stand for now. But so she was basically training around diet, exercise, and mental health. Basically, those were the three things that she was working on. So we devised all of that and planned all that out. And then at the end of the day, she burst into tears and it was just tears of happiness. She said, because finally I can see where I'm going now. And now I know this is what I want to do. Right.
Magic.
Yeah.
Magic moment.
It was amazing. It was really amazing.
That is so magic.
Yeah. And that's it, just from doing what you want to do and not what somebody tells you should do. Because there's a lot of people that are stuck in jobs where their parents have told them they should do this and they've ended up in that.
You're in a country full of people like that.
I know so many people who have got law degrees and haven't worked as lawyers.
Or doctors, like, I mean, Singapore,
Yeah.
doctor, lawyer. I'm trying to think, doctor or lawyer. That's about it, right? After that, there's nothing. After that, you're a shame.
Oh my
Oh,
God. So it's be you.
that's funny. I mean, that story it's interesting because I had a similar reaction when I finally quit.
Right.
And I really quit my job. And, man,
Mhm.
that night, I was just overwhelmed with emotion. Yeah. It's
Okay.
powerful,
Right. But was
Yeah.
it a good feeling or was it scary or?
Oh, absolutely. Like you said, like the tears of joy, right?
Okay.
But also tears of, fear, like also fear and expectation.
What have I done?
What have I done? Absolutely a whole lot of what have I done? A whole lot of what have I done? And that's so terrifying. Letting go is terrifying. And then doing it publicly.
Yeah.
I was really quite public about what I was doing and where I was going and what I was going to
Right.
do.
Okay.
And, people would think I was a friggin' madman. I was leaving corporate life, and I was going to go start a podcast and drive around America. I mean, people in Vietnam thought I was completely lost my mind. It was more about poor Ken, not, oh, he's doing such a brave thing. It was like, oh, poor man's lost his mind. It's completely gone batty.
So it's again different perspectives, right?
It's funny, right? Totally different perspectives. For me, it
Right.
was something completely different, right?
And
Terrifying, joyful.
say with your questions as well, and people have different perspectives on what the question means. We all have different views, right? Coming at things from different angles.
Yes, and I think it's a good kind of something to point out that I've seen during the jar. As different as we are, and as different, even we interpret the questions different, Angie, that there's like this bell curve of and in the middle is this human stuff.
Right.
And we're so close on human stuff, about love and karma, acceptance, forgiveness, compassion. We all have really very tight, close opinions, and we're not really far apart on the important stuff in society. We've given the fringe have got the spotlight and the megaphone somehow. We've let the idiots get control of the microphone system and the streamcast systems.
Control of the asylum.
We've somehow the asylum idiots have got into the control room and are running the controls right now. The reality is we don't hate each other. We're not a divided society. We are, humans are, and you do this. You call up strangers and you meet people from the other side of the planet, and you find out we might disagree on politics or some things, but the core stuff, the stuff that matters, when the world's on fire, when
everybody comes together, right?
We're pretty close to each other, actually.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to see, for example, the earthquake that's happened recently and how people have come together to help with that, right?
Don't care what country it's in.
It's amazing.
Everybody you see a baby coming out of rubble, and we all kind of figure out, oh yeah, we're human.
Yeah. And what truly matters.
What truly matters.
Yeah.
Babies.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, we have had a great conversation.
I hope the audience got what they were coming for.
I hope so. I think so. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And it's just so inspiring, I think, to see, that for people that you can leave the corporate job and there is a life after it, and you can make it work how you want to make it work. And you've got the complete freedom to do so. And also, if people are facing retirement, that third act, also you can build that the way you want.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
And you're the illustration of that, basically, right? Yeah. All right.
Be intentional.
Yeah. So, if people want to learn more about you, Ken, where can we send them to?
Yeah, just go to the main website is www.thejar.live. So just thejar.live. And there's all kinds of links, especially in the upper right corner, to YouTube shows. We did a couple of Netflix kind of a thing. It's kind of cute. We first started. The interviews are there. The podcasts are there and everything. You can find everything you want to find out there.
Okay. And we can start to learn about your 444 questions.
We should finish with a question.
Oh God, go on.
Angie, I'm going to pull you out a question. I'll do one too. Okay, so I'm pulling it out. Oh. All right, Angie, here's your question.
Okay. Do you meditate? Did someone teach you, or did you learn it on your own?
Are you a meditator?
I'm not. I'm not. I'm okay. So part of it is, I don't know if when you were living here, you heard of this phrase, a Kanchong spider.
No.
Did you ever hear that? No. I've been called that a few times. So it's basically someone running around and like a headless chicken kind of thing. So I try to learn to relax, and I think I'm better at it today than I used to be. But generally, I find I have to be doing things. And if you okay, I'll give you an example of, it's not really meditation, but it's with my daughter. My daughter took up yoga. And I thought, well, I'll go with her and I'll do yoga with her, because that'll be good for me as well. And I'll keep me
absolutely
active. Yeah. No, hell.
I mean, you have an AC/DC shirt on. Nothing says chaos more than AC/DC. Okay, so we know. Now, my experience, Angie, is the jar is quite prophetic. There's always a reason not a reason every card, but quite often there's a message in the cards.
Meditate. No, honestly, right. I did the yoga with my daughter, right? And I'll tell you how this ended up. So we hired a private yoga teacher, and she was teaching my daughter, and I went along to the lessons, and my daughter was like managing it all perfectly fine, and I'm like, this hurts.
Oh, it's not easy.
And also it's just so slow, and
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, this isn't for
the
me.
point. That's the point.
No, but you know what I do instead? I do
Okay.
boxing.
Oh, okay. That's more your style.
That's my style. Get all
Okay,
my
that's
aggression out.
fun. Oh, too funny.
So your question, what's your question?
What's the easiest way to truly and impactfully help others?
Hey, nice one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think. Well, I mean, I know because that's what I'm doing, which is listen.
Yeah.
And I think I have learned the power of, listening, and hearing and allowing people to tell their story. It's
Mm,
You're doing it.
mm,
I mean, you
mm.
feel it. It's impactful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's impactful.
Yeah. And it's like, I say, like with my copy, I was just talking to a client this morning about this. With my copywriting business, she was saying, well, should we do interviews with our people via email, or do we do it on Zoom? And I said, definitely on Zoom, because I
Mm.
need to be able to hear
Yes.
their story. I need to hear what they're saying. And that when they say something, it brings up something else. So then I can
Yeah.
ask the next question and delve deeper. If we did that in
Yeah.
email, there's no way you'd get
Oh,
that
oh
information.
God, not by email.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dreadful.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Well,
having.
I
Thanks for
love your,
having me on.
yeah, I love your ideas, and I love the jar thing is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to check that out. And so, where are you heading off to next? Where's the next
Yeah.
stop?
So I'm here in Atlanta, and I'll be actually. I haven't done my Atlanta interviews yet, so
Okay.
I'm on a kind of a little sabbatical, kind of a little
Okay.
creative break. Trying to write. I'm trying to do some writing, or at least sketch out my next book, and
Nice.
then also maybe start another podcast.
Nice. So, do
Yeah.
you find your days are very relaxed and slow and intentional in that way?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, they're very.
Yeah.
I have little pieces of work that I'm doing, and I just got a little block time for, spend a bit of time on this, a bit of time on this, and a bit of
Yeah.
time on this. And at the end of the day, I've got, if I've still got some brain power left, it's actually sometimes a good time to start doing the creative part. My brain is a little bit. I do good on both when I'm fully charged, and then also when I'm completely dead brained.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because then the noise is gone.
Right.
The squirrels have gone to sleep. So
Okay.
if I can find myself, my voice, it will come out. A lot of the words will come out really easily. I can
Nice.
write quite effectively.
Okay.
Yeah.
I find first thing in the morning, if I get up early in the morning, then
Yeah.
I'm really productive.
Yeah. I am productive in the morning, but there are those spots you can tap into when you're tired.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Try
Creative spots.
that.
Because then like I said, the noise is gone.
Yeah. Okay.
Because when you're sharp in the morning, you're very productive. You're very, it's very sequential, very listy, very productive.
Mm,
Tick the box, crank
mm,
emails.
mm,
It's very busy. Like you were
mm,
saying before. This is your mind.
mm.
But when all that's kind of gone down, you're kind of that power is gone. There's another reserve there
Right.
you can tap into.
Actually, when I think about it, yeah, because I think like when I was very first starting my business, and I transitioned slowly from a full-time
Okay,
job into, and so I had the business as a sideline at first.
nice,
And so but then I was working around the clock, right? so,
not nice.
so then I would have like sparks of creativity first thing in the morning, do
Yes.
something, then go to work, come home. And then late in the evening, I was when I would do most of the copywriting, because that was the only time really I had to do it.
Oh yeah,
And
and you
yeah,
have to be
things came
focused.
out. Huh?
Yeah, and you have to be you have to have a quiet
Yeah.
mind to do
Mm,
quiet because you really have to dig into the topic.
mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you could, so
Yeah.
I think reminds myself that some of my best stuff is later when I'm
Yeah.
and the next day you read it and you're like, yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
And so we'll check out thejar.live and people can learn more about you there as well.
And thanks, Angie, for having me
Okay.
on.
Thank you, Ken. All
Okay.
right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Okay, that's it for this episode. And if you've enjoyed it, then just press like and share it with others and subscribe so that you don't miss an episode in future. I would love to have you back. You can also check out my offers on angedove.com. That's ANGEDOVE.com. And if you'd like to inquire about coaching with me just to get that business built and fast track your success in doing that, then you can get on a call with me, and that's at angedove.com/apply, APPLY. I'd really love to speak to you on the call.